Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie from Internal Alignments Healing Arts. And today we are doing the very last Spotlight series for 2024. And I just want to wish everyone a very, very happy new year. Um, it's going to be an amazing year. I'm feeling it. 2025. It's going to be awesome. So today we have Lulu Mosman, and she is here to talk to us about the healing art of music and song and how important it really is to people. She's a life coach who really is focuses on that self-compassion and supporting people with becoming their own best friends. And so she combines these approaches of different modalities, including her own original songs she writes herself. And we'll talk a little bit more about how those unfold. And so she really delivers like engaging, dynamic, and embody our different types of pathways in our bodies. So, mental, emotional, physical healing. And together, clients can really replace those loud voices in the head, how we overanalyze or constantly worry. She helps people calm that down so that inner critic is not um, directing their lives, and they can really tap into their own inner wisdom, so that they feel peaceful, feel purposeful and authentic, right, Lulu? Um,
Absolutely.
so why don't you say hi and let's talk about how your journey with music healing started.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate how you put those things. I got started with learning how powerful music was after, of course, loving it my whole life, loving to sing. But it
Mhm.
wasn't until I had my core wounding experience, which was um, a bout of verbal abuse and kind of telling me some lies that weren't true of myself, but my subconscious believed them and
Right.
continued them. Like, okay, well, now my inner critic is convinced of these things. That I had the fortune of discovering the real power of music because it was the same summer that I went to Singing Alive, this really, really beautiful gathering.
Hmm.
It happens every year in Oregon, and now it has many branches, and there are other song sharing gatherings as well, where I had people singing the most wonderful, peaceful, healing songs and teaching, and we were all singing together. And they were so cathartic for me.
Right.
And I was able to really let in the messages that actually, despite the picture, I was a good person and that there was so much love available to me. And so I really want to send out this message to other people who may go through traumas at any time in their life or go through hardships, that there's always more love available to you, and that music is a lovely way to remind yourself of that. And it can be
Hmm.
shared with other people too. And that's what's most powerful about Singing Alive, and the whole oral tradition, singing and music making and spiritual healing in
Hmm.
community,
Yes.
that we're all here for each other. And then it's so powerful when we lift our voices and join in. We're creating a vibration, we're creating sound vibrations that we can literally feel. They feel tingly,
Hmm.
and that it does, in fact, enter our tissues, it enters our subconscious mind, it illuminates it, I don't know, ignites our souls and our collective consciousness and souls to bring more peace to ourselves and bring soothing to those places that need it. So that
Hmm.
that summer of going to Singing Live after I had been hurt was incredibly amazing. And I bought CDs, hint, hint, when you love music, support the artists, and would listen to them I listened to them for months and months, and sometimes I would be crying with these amazing CDs of people that I had met, and they were these really meaningful songs saying encouraging messages. And sometimes I would be really happy and singing along with them, like, yes, these things are true. And so it allowed me to create a new reality for myself.
Ah, nice. So it's kind of like you use that music to heal from all the stuff to just kind of come back into alignment, right? And that's what you're teaching people now is, the song is cathartic. And it's so amazing because, a lot of it, the words can remind you of trauma, but then it transcends it as well and feel better at the end of the song. Um, and I'm so happy, I've known you for a while now, and I remember back then when you were in that transition. I saw the transition of you healing, and I was just so impressed because I know you feel like a totally different person than you did back then, and it was through the power of music for you. So kudos, yay to you. And so how do you feel that music is really healing and available for anyone and everyone?
Well, you don't have to be a singer to use songs powerfully in your own life. It's You can use them as a tool to re-convince yourself of things that you've previously gotten convinced of. You're like, no, 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 no. We're listening to these messages now. This is the truth that I'm seeping myself in. This is the world that I'm creating. This is how I'm feeling about myself. Because the way that we feel about ourselves and and think about ourselves and talk to ourselves is super important
Hmm.
to our mental health, emotional health, which then creates our physical health, then creates our relationships. It's really pivotal. Um,
Hmm.
I'm like trying to remember the question.
It's all about basically how songs can be healing for people.
For
So
everyone, you're right. You're right.
yeah, yeah. So
I do have
I
to.
know they can be like grounding and kind of move you out of that toxic positivity. Can you tell people what that means to you and how you approach that for someone?
True. Sometimes it might sound like, oh, you're just going to sing happy songs to yourself all the time. And like, that's not enough. True. We need shadow work for sure.
Right.
Some music can really help you access those deeper
Hmm.
feelings and really be heard. I mean, now I understand why metal is so crazy, but it's also written about a lot of emotional topics. So people who've been through hard times, sometimes that's it feels like camaraderie for them. And the song genres that I choose are much lighter.
Hmm.
Um, but it is important to face the hard feelings as well as be soothing towards them.
Hmm.
And I've just found so many methods, including music, that get to acknowledge the hard parts and be there for ourselves. Since that's really what self compassion is all about. It's choosing to be with yourself during hard times, during easy times, during
Hmm.
confusing times, during all the times. And like, wow, I'm not going to abandon myself. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm going to kindly pay attention, see what I need, see how I can meet that.
Hmm. Uh,
And yeah.
hmm. That's a really good point is when you said not abandoning yourself. I as a healer myself, I see that too. And you mentioned you know other modalities. So do you combine modalities to help people in like sessions or workshops?
Indeed, as building upon the songs a really fun and awesome method of replacing thought tracks, we do need a lot more approaches. So I've studied a lot and experienced myself a lot of life coaching and therapy and alternative modalities to whether they're talking based or writing based or role playing or embodied like movement style or just being aware of how your body responds to different emotional stimuli
Mm,
and things that are playful and fun, like trying to let yourself lighten up and find the fun, find the curiosity and the adventure within your journey is really important. So
Mm.
I love to guide people in ways that they can have more fun with their healing process, and that's been a good thing for me. Really paying attention to what your inner child wants to do. It's very important.
Right.
They probably have a lot of to teach you, and you can meet a lot of your current needs by tapping into what would my child self need and want.
That's a good point. That's a good point. A few times during this spotlight series, we have talked about child healing or that inner child healing. So, when you say like being playful, is that through song and movement, or how does that work for you to help others?
Sometimes it's just as simple as choosing to say like, "Oh wow, what a kerfluffle," or you could use other words like, "Oh, what a puzzle."
Yeah.
That's fun to approach. You're like, I believe I can solve a puzzle, rather than like, oh my gosh, this is too hard. So just having these little switches of your attitude to finding what's fun. And I always ask my clients, like, what did you find fun? What
Uh-huh.
kinds of games felt awesome, felt attainable? You
Uh-huh.
don't want to call it a scavenger hunt if for some reason you had hard experiences with scavenger hunts and they were scary or whatever. But finding
Uh-huh.
what was important, what was safe and joyful for you as a kid, comparing your current journey to that can be one way to
Mhm.
go about it, because it's not so serious and adulting, like we're gonna do all this shadow work. Oh, what if we
Yeah.
did a puzzle? And it's just gonna keep expanding and expanding, and we keep
Yeah.
finding puzzle pieces using visuals. So if people
Uh-huh.
like doing any sorts of art, drawing, doodling, painting, uh, dancing, any expressive arts,
Mhm.
moving, um, theater, kind of like
Yeah.
do puppet theater using hands or with bags or with socks,
Right.
um, or role playing. That can get fun. Let's see what else. I don't necessarily do a lot with toys, but just
Uh-huh.
recognizing what. Ooh, I really just learned this phrase recently from someone. Harmless impulses. If you are
Oh,
to follow every harmless impulse you have, so yeah, don't follow destructive ones, but
right.
listen, be like, hmm, I wanna I wanna go play in the snow. Or ooh, I wanna drink tea out of this fancy little teacup. Or like, I wanna create some art instead of cleaning up. Like, oh, what if I arrange these things beautifully?
Hmm.
Follow your impulses and just see what your gut says to do, what your heart says to do, however you want to feel about it. Act like, and like specifically let your kid like self, your childlike self lead the
Mm.
way in at certain parts of your day. I feel that the morning is an especially nice time to do that, because you're going to start your day out on a more joyful note, where you're giving yourself permission to be how you want to be.
That's beautiful. That's a good idea. It's like um when you're talking about all the tools we can do for those impulses, I was thinking, in the morning instead of a cup of coffee, why not do hot chocolate with marshmallows? I mean, simple things like that can be beautiful. And I don't know if people know, but chocolate itself has caffeine in it, so you still get that energetic boost with a sense of like, oh, marshmallows, I haven't done that in a while, it's cute. You can
And
sprinkle
they're
some sprinkles on
polyphenols,
top or whatever. Just
because you can make it fun, and you get the polyphenols and all the antioxidants and health benefits
oh
of cacao
yeah,
as well.
absolutely. Oh, cacao. um Mm, some of our favorite. So you mentioned that you have a New Year's song that you wanted to share with everyone, and it just really goes back into that sense of um, that inner joy and preparing ourselves for a whole new year. So will you share that with us right now?
Yes, and this could you could adapt this one, anyone watching, to say day instead of year. So you could sing it 365 days, anytime in a
Uh-huh.
new day instead of a year. And that what a difference in your day could that make if you start by singing. Okay, here it goes. New year, new me.
New
New
year
year,
and
new you. New
year
year,
and
new
new,
me.
new
New
year
year,
and
new
new.
you. Now is the
It's the
time
time
to trust
to trust
inside. Now is the
the
time
time
to
to
trust the
trust in.
divine. Now is the
It's the
time
time
to
to
trust
trust
inside.
inside.
Now
Now
is the
is the
time
time
to
to
trust the
trust in.
divine. We'll do it one more time.
Mhm.
New
New
year,
year and
new
new
me.
me.
New
New year
year,
and
new
new
you.
me.
New year,
And
new
new,
me.
new
New
year
year,
and new.
new you. Now is the
Now is the
time
time
to
to
trust
trust in.
inside. Now is
Now
the
is the
time
time
to
to
trust the
trust the
divine.
divine.
Now
Now
is the
is the
time
time
to
to
trust
trust
inside.
inside.
Now is
Now
the
is the
time
time
to
to
trust
trust
the
the divine.
divine. Is it fun?
Yay! It
Yeah.
is fun. I'm not the best singer, so I was trying to be quiet, but
So that was so fun. Thank you for joining. And it's
yeah,
always the best time to trust yourself. And it's always the best time to trust the divine, however you think of the divine, the universe, the source of wisdom.
right. Absolutely. So how does the divine and the universal wisdom and how it, comes down into you, how does that translate into your healing sessions?
Mm, yes. Well, first, I am thinking how I just suddenly became or kind of discovered or opened my channel from the universe of songs. So then it was just like dropping in through my mind. Oh, here's a song that I'm hearing. Words, melody. This is so neat. Oh my goodness. Amazing. And that's been going on since 2016 now. So
Mm,
a lot of
mhm.
years of really cool songs coming in. They're phrases that I'm grappling with, or that a friend is grappling with, or an answer to an emotional quandary, or a celebration of like this part of life is so amazing. Let's sing about it. And so, needless to say, with all of those and with all the songs that I've collected from other people, I know a song on pretty much any topic that people bring to me, and I love to help people learn
Mhm.
the songs that they need specifically for their minds. And so that's like an active way of learning. And
Uh-huh.
then I love to give Reiki sessions. I call it Soulify Reiki because it's lullabies for your soul. And you're
Mm,
receiving energy work with light touch. And it's very soothing, very relaxing. And so that's a way that people get to lay there and receive. And it's the option to tone along or sing along a bit if that feels
yeah.
right. um, that can really help go back to some memories or go down to some energetic layers and really release things and soothe things that have been bothering people. So that's a wonderful gift to give yourself if
Mhm.
you've done a lot of therapies or body works and you're like, oh, there's still some sore spots in my heart or
Yeah.
my energy field. It's really like being sung to as a kid, but more enlightened types of
Mm.
vibes.
I could
Um,
s- I could
mm,
see how Reiki helps you with that because I know when I'm doing Reiki, I have a tendency to just start channeling or downloading information from the client's subconscious, like, okay, this is what you need. And it sounds like you do the same thing and you bring it forward in song so that they can express themselves. Because I truly believe the people that need a specific healer show up. And for you, it sounds like you're the type of healer that does the same thing as a lot of other people, but step it up a little bit for those clients that are just needing to express themselves or be compassionate with themselves, and you lead them in that. So
yeah.
thank you. Thank you very much for bringing that piece of yourself forward for others to share and be able to embody it. It's like I'm almost crying right now because I
Oh,
feel it. I really feel what you've done. I've experienced your one of your workshops, and that was actually quite transformative for me. Just so people know out there what it's like. It's allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and sing and dance in silly ways. And after your workshop, I felt like there was a lot of stuff that just I was able to let go of, because especially around like my worry wart type of personality. And that was helpful to remember to trust myself. So, and I know you do that for many, many other people. So I just want to throw out a piece of gratitude right there for you and to let other people know that you should definitely tap in with Lulu because it's worth it.
I'm really, really happy to hear that. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yes, releasing the stuff that we don't need, that heaviness that we've
Hmm.
inadvertently been carrying around a lot. Playfulness is amazing that way because it does help you shake it off and dance it off and
Oh, yes, very much so.
be in your lightness again. Good for you.
Yeah, very much so. So, what I've noticed with your songs and music that you've downloaded and channeled, there's a lot of storytelling in there. Can you tell me about the storytelling and how that helps others?
Hmm. It's like the lyrics are from a wise guide,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a higher wisdom perspective telling you what's going on or what's what. Like we get so confused, and then these messages are like little ah or raised through the clouds of, oh yeah, there's more to life, there's more to this story. And it's been immensely helpful to remember those things. And there's plenty of times that I will still fall for things for a moment, and I remember, oh right, I need that song to remind me, like, get back on um, the track of trusting is a big one. And I'll credit my friend Amy Ringel for having one of the best storytelling and music fusions that was so touching for me. She was playing the guitar just very lightly and like kind of singing a little bit while she told the story of a broken pot. And they were so concerned that they were broken and they couldn't continue carrying all the water from point A to point B, from the well to the whatever, this garden over here, because they had gotten so old, because we can feel so insecure about our weaknesses.
Right.
And the gardener finally said, look, little pot, look at all these, do you see all these flowers along the pathway? That has been dripping through your cracks and watering the seeds for all these beautiful flowers to grow every single time I walk you back and forth. And that was just incredibly touching for me. Like, there can be a good side to my flaws. So we are all meant to be exactly how we are. We're all meant to have all the imperfections that we have.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get to line them with gold. And when we have breakthroughs, when we have emotional healings, when we have transformations, that's a way of lining our own cracks with gold and be like, see, that's a beautiful crack, and now it feels a lot better, and I'm more beautiful because of it. And we always have things to contribute no matter how we're feeling.
Uh-huh.
And finding that is so key to, I feel, feeling happy and feeling purposeful and feeling aligned. So
Mm,
yeah,
nice.
storytelling has been amazing
Hmm.
aspect, because it like then it kind of speaks to both your logical mind and your poetic mind. And that's why in my coaching I do plenty of things that are very logical, and then things that are fun and playful and musical and also body based. So we really kind of capture the whole being in
Nice.
our embrace
Awesome.
everything.
So it really taps into the somatic bodiness, the nervous system and the subconscious, right? I'm right there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
for it to
Perfect.
involve everything, because your whole body chamber, you like your whole upper body is your voice. Your voice
Right.
isn't just here or
Right.
here. It's everything. And when you're choosing to sing these affirmations that are so important to you, you're resonating your whole being with that truth, and you're taking a powerful step in the direction of what you want and need to be more true for you.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. So
Whether
it's
it's loving
really,
yourself or forgiving or any good thing.
yeah. So just bringing you back into authenticity. And I know from my healing practices, it's really hard to be authentic with yourself when you're holding a lot in your body. So, and that's why you use movement along with the singing, right?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Having looseness and motion in our bodies helps us access different perspectives. It's like, oh my gosh, I can think
Okay.
of more things when I'm being a swirly whirly like this than I can if I'm like, hmm. It does authentically help us to move,
Ah, okay.
to
Uh,
think more and be more imaginative.
that makes sense. And so we, I mentioned a little earlier when I was introducing you about you help clients replace their inner critic into something else. How does, fusing the music with the storytelling and teaching help them shift that perspective?
Well, we can easily come up with all the examples of how our inner critic does things.
Uh-huh.
So we try and meet it there, be like, oh, I see what you're doing, and I see why you have a need for security. How about we provide you security another way? So you're not destroying your inner critic. You're just like, oh, look, you need support. It's like a complaining child.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, you clearly need something. So then we try and pay as close attention to what our deeper needs are and meet them with kindness, kind
Okay.
actions, kind words, kind songs, kind movements, kind promises you can make to yourself.
Ah, okay.
What shifts do you need to make so that your needs are met and you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna your inner critic or your unhappy younger self isn't feeling so poorly anymore.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. That's
Because
beautiful.
yeah,
That's
and
beautiful.
it's that way you're providing support.
Uh,
Maybe it's from a parent perspective, or maybe it's from a best friend perspective. Maybe you want to be your own animal tender. However you want to feel about it, just like the hurts parts of yourself, relate to them kindly and do what the kind person would do.
ah, okay. Okay. So going back to these downloaded songs for people, you mentioned the term song seeds. Can you kind of expand on that for me a little bit?
Sure, sometimes the the allness will deliver a couple lines, a line, a four line, that it's not necessarily a full-fledged song, but it's still helpful.
Okay.
And that's just such a neat way to remember that specific concept. Because I could go to talks, I could listen to things, I could write things down, but usually, personally, they don't stick for me as well as if it has a tune.
Ah,
Oh, now I can remember this wise saying because it goes like this. And that's been, yeah, that's just been so fun. And so then when we're in conversation, some words will come up and be like, oh, I know a little itty bitty song about that. And then it might stick with someone else too. And it's a really easy way to pass around like free seeds, like song
ah,
seeds. Sing this little line, and maybe that'll inspire someone else to come up with more of it, and maybe it'll help uplift their thoughts. So sometimes
ah,
I'm able to string together different song seeds and create a little garden, um, which feels good.
yeah.
And music
That's
makes
be that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So can you tell people, once you've got these songs going within their embodiment, um, how can they or anyone else who's interested in trying out this form of healing, how can they benefit from it?
You can have different answers for
Mhm.
when your negative voices of whatever sort or other people's negativity starts going on and on. You can say, that's not what I listen to anymore. Actually, this is what I listen to. And you can either listen to a recording or start to sing it to yourself. And you have these much more expansive perspectives to be singing. You can realize, oh, wow, my body kind of hurts in this area when I feel that thing or when I'm in that situation. Maybe I'm gonna rub it or move it or say something kind to it while I rub it. And
Ah,
like start identifying, oh my gosh, how can I meet my own need? How can I tend to my inner child? How can I show up as my best friend to feel better in this moment? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So it's kind of like trying to find the right words, but it to me it reminds me of like helping people really tap into that inner wisdom through whether it's just being kind to themselves or being kind to that child self. And so because of that, it technically interrupts the patterns that they have put themselves in, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It interrupts the patterns. Well said. Thank you.
Yeah,
It brings us
okay.
something new. Be like, wouldn't we rather do this instead? It's redirecting. It's redirecting. Yeah.
Okay. And
Mhm.
how do you help people continue the process after a session? Like, hey, don't forget about the songs. How do you help them do that?
Yeah, well, if it's a Reiki session that they come for, then they get to record it on their own phone so that it just travels with them and they can listen to it again in a bath, on a walk, when they're trying to fall asleep. If it's and then I offer ongoing coaching. So 3 months,
Okay.
6 months, however long people would like to be supported. And I really like to be right there and kind of be the best friend example that someone needs. So we do get to meet regularly and coaching involves, yeah, a lot of attention. It can be online video calls, it can be in person in Southwest Portland that they can come see me
Okay.
and really building on their needs and their goals of how they would rather relate to themselves, how they would rather be experiencing their lives moment to moment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a joyful process. I just love to give people so many options of how they can apply healing techniques in their own lives. And yes, we'll send people songs. We usually keep them together online in a certain spot. But having the right songs to play if you're frustrated and need to walk away and have some inspiration, I send people recordings all the time. Yeah.
Ah, very cool. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Um, I was wondering, what are your hopes and dreams as music healing grows and then also for your own self?
Mm. My hope and dream is to have a center of inner child healing
Ah,
where multiple professionals from different modalities come together for people to go through day or multi-day or even multi-week rotations of different types of holistic healing that are
uh-huh.
addressing the different layers of their inner child. And it gets to be infused with beauty and peacefulness and fun and gentleness. Because if we can actually determine what our needs are from different times in our lives, like our teenager self and our child self, and da, 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 all these moments in our lives, and bring completeness to those younger selves and bring soothing and healing and love. Love is like choosing choosing to be with someone or something with that unconditional presence of like, yes, yes, I really feel that people could overcome so many issues and feel so much more at peace with themselves. So part of my portion in that partly can be having more coaching clients individually who I help get to another layer of their healing. And then I know lots of people, I can at least refer them to other people who could help them with maybe something more specific
Right.
that that is not my specialty. Um, so I am applying for a master's in counseling that'll hopefully allow me to move on that track of being able to help more people in a more professional setting and have people have easier access to the services.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah,
maybe even be able to use insurance and
right.
whatnot as well. Yeah, I've been on um a little track of how in the world can we get these other modalities under insurance companies? Because that would be able to let people um feel like they can access our services more. Um, so yeah, I totally get it. Um,
Definitely, yeah.
Before we sign off, can you tell me what you're doing? Like what you're doing workshops and individual sessions, right? Can you tell everyone a little bit more about those?
We have a monthly song circle, heart healing song circle at Nalu Kava every second Sunday of the month. Except
Hmm.
February, it'll be the third Sunday. That's a great time for people to come together and just try out singing together. If your voice is, wherever your voice is, don't worry. It's wonderful. It sounds exactly as it needs to. And people get to try out singing these cool messages that really uplift them. And it's such a beautiful community we create. Singing and some drumming or strumming. We can have instruments as a part of that. I'm really called to hold a more spirit-centered song circle coming up soon so that we can just use any kind of terms, any kind of concepts of divinity to really feel a lot and be really authentic with life. And music is such a key portion of so many spiritual paths
Yeah.
that I really feel I'm planning on holding the one this winter of 25. And let's see, I don't have any other workshops planned currently, but I'm very much open to them and I do want to collaborate with people. I will be holding a sound healing with EFT tapping with my
Okay.
friend at
Uh-huh.
West Sound Healing sometime this year too. So we can do that emotional freedom technique where you're tapping on different points,
Uh-huh.
saying things or singing things. So
Right.
that'll be a fun way for people to experience that fusion.
Ah, very
And,
cool.
and then yes, throughout everything, um, I am available for individual clients and I'm so flexible so I don't take insurance but I'm very happy to meet people where they are
Mm,
and
hmm.
and then finally I do plan on having more play shops where people get to do some inner child healing. They're yet to be scheduled but I will do them.
Nice, nice.
We have a great time in those.
Yeah, sounds like 2025 is going to be busy and beautiful for you. So that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, we're pretty much done for today. Do you have any last minute thoughts or messages you want to put out to people today?
Mm. Hmm.
Especially taking in the idea that we are literally starting a whole new year. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, you are whole. You,
Mm,
whoever you are, everything about you is creating the sphere and the rainbow of who you are. So if you can stick to one type of intention this year, may it be something around accepting every little piece of yourself as part of the whole.
mm.
And some pieces you may be done with and you can like tuck them in a corner, but everything, like all of you belongs. And wholeness is instead of perfection
Uh-huh.
is really where I try and orient myself.
Uh,
I appreciate everything as more whole, not more perfect or less perfect. You know,
uh-huh.
if we can give up the judgmental either or and black and white kind of thinking, if we can accept more holistic holism, holiness, that's
Uh-huh.
gonna be able to feel better about ourselves throughout our journeys, no matter how hard and easy they become.
That makes sense. So, when you say that, it reminds me about the concept of just simplifying.
Yeah,
And it's so important to do that because when you simplify, you slow down and now you can start considering yourself a little bit more. And I really appreciate the idea of just keeping it to one intention. This year I'm working on this as, life unfolds. And that's a way of simplifying. So thank you. That's really good message right there.
you're welcome.
Um, so Lulu, thank you so much for being a part of the process, for showing up and just being yourself. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
So welcome and thank you for being yourself, Jamie. This is so wonderful. I'm really grateful you're bringing people together to share such inspiration.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful new year. In the comments, I'll leave links how you can get a hold of Lulu. And then, of course, you can always comment below to let us know how song therapy has helped you. So, Happy New Year and have a wonderful day. Bye.